Hey, Michael Church, Crawl Space Ninja. Today we have a special guest. We have Nancy Ewing with Anabec. And for those of you who are familiar with our channel, Anabec is our primary product that we use to address mold, both to disinfect or remove mold, as well as also prevent mold. So I really appreciate Nancy coming on. And hopefully we'll be able to do several videos, but this is one that's she's going to introduce all of you to Anabec and some of the different products that they have out there and how we got started together a few years back. So Nancy, really appreciate you being on the call. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Michael, for having me. I'm happy to be here. And I'm very proud to say that we've been partners with Crawl Space Ninja, Basement Ninja, and Michael Church personally, a wonderful partnership for over 7 years. And he serves as one of our master distributors. So we're very grateful to have you as well, Michael.
Well, thank you so much. It's kind of funny whenever I was researching mold removal and different things like that, I was looking for what I would classify as a green product. I don't know if you're necessarily considered that and you can share more about that, but I was looking for the safest product for my homeowners, but was also effective at taking care of the mold problem. And there's a lot of mold products out there that are effective at taking care of the mold problem, but they're EPA registered and they have a lot of pesticides and things in them. And we'll get into that, of course, but it's been a pleasure working with you and your company for all these years. And I'm just going to let you take it away. So as this slide shows, we've been together since 2014. So you just tell me when you need the next slide.
Yeah, we can move on to the next slide.
Okay.
And as I say, Michael, you've been with us 7 years, but I'm very proud to say we are going past our 25 years, actually. And we have been historically all about what you mentioned too, having a safe but effective product. We do carry one, and we'll get more into that later in the slides, but they're cost effective. And I think what I'm most proud of about Anabec is when the phone rings, it gets answered. We have tremendous customer service and also warranties, which are optional for people to take. But over 25 years, we've never had product failure and never had a warranty claim. So that's a tremendous tribute to Anabec as a company.
Well, that's great. And speaking of warranties, we're one of the only crawl space encapsulation companies I'm aware of that actually offers a mold warranty. And it's because of our confidence in your product. And we do it a little differently than you all have with other contractors, because we're more or less standing behind it ourselves, because we know that with the confidence of the Anabec product, we can stand behind a warranty. Many companies won't even guarantee the mold has been removed, much less warranty it from coming back. So that's a great tribute to you and your company.
Yeah. And we're very big on, qualitative is not what we want in a test. We want the quantity, the spore count, but it goes to an independent microbial laboratory, and it's up to them to decide if it's good clearance. And it's always been a tremendous tribute, again, that we get good clearance, but it's not Anabec's judgment call. It's an independent lab that's saying that this passed and the mold is gone and the bacteria.
That's great. That's great.
And a lot of people don't realize over these years that we were true pioneers in the industry. We were the first now not so much because we had a lot of copycats and I can't blame them, but we were the first manufacturer to bring on a peroxide-based cleaner, which is now acknowledged and respected by the EPA, by the CPC. I mean, the people all around the world, the World Health Organization, I should say, that peroxide is not only a terrific option and answer, but it's a very benign solution as well, which you mentioned earlier about being environmentally appropriate. We were the first to introduce nanotechnology into our microbial moisture barriers, which is unbelievably unique in the sense that they become a penetrant, not an encapsulant, which people love because it can breathe. The surface can breathe with our nanotechnology with the silver nitrate as an ingredient. We also decided, as you mentioned before, you want to fix a problem, but hopefully you can prevent a problem from ever happening. So we were the very first to develop a proactive approach to mold in new construction, which is our NewBuild50. And that's been a tremendous success in brand new construction, both commercial and residential. We also said, don't just protect the surface or encapsulate, as I mentioned, but you have to clean it first. So we were the first to say, promote cleaning of the organic debris and then go in with your protectant. A lot of people used to just encapsulate mold, which was not a solution whatsoever. It became a problem. We talked about the corporate transferable warranty. And again, we're big on customer service, but training is huge. We don't want to throw a product off the shelf and say, hey, good luck with that. We really want you to understand when to put it on and what type of airless sprayer, what size tip. And all of that is something we offer online, free to our contractors and customers. And for you, Michael, to offer to your clients, 20-minute video. We also have individual videos per each product now, which is nice, just short infomercials. Some people may just want to buy the cleaner. We have a quick infomercial on our website page now, but for the entire product line, it's 20 minutes and it's well worth it. In some cases, we have very large clients that will ask us to come on site and do trainings for our contractors, which we also offer. And then lastly, on the slide, we speak about less is best. We're not about soaking products on. Our product should get close to 1,000 square feet per gallon, which is one of the best coverages in the industry. And that way, having the smallest impact on the environment as well.
That's great. That's great. And, you know, it's interesting where you talked about the nanotechnology that you're not encapsulating.
Correct.
You know, we go against a lot of crawl space companies that will buy kills or a kills type solution, which isn't even a mold preventative. It's a stain blocker. And then they try to encapsulate the mold underneath that product, similar to the way I assume asbestos companies work, where
that's true. Very true.
They don't get rid of the asbestos, they just lock it in so that it can't become a mold spore. The only problem is asbestos isn't a living, breathing organism that's trying to survive, where mold is. So if you encapsulate it without killing it or without taking care of it, then it's got a natural defense to want to live. And then we've seen it break through those encapsulants, where your process is talking about removing the organic material and all that. So again, I learned a lot of this from you all, because I was following what everybody else was doing in the beginning. And then finally I came across your way of doing it, and it made total sense to remove it, then put a protectant on it. And hopefully you'll talk about the nanotechnology a little more in future slides. I'm looking forward to hearing about that too. So,
and you know, when you said that, you know, the old school thinking, what a heck of a time we had back in the day. I've been with the Anabec over 20 years, but I can remember the horror of people throwing bleach on a surface. And they think this is the way to go. When in fact, mold, what do they love? They love water. When you open a bottle of bleach and it off gases, it's left with your 99% water. Mm-hmm. So they were actually making a problem worse by bleach. And that's why we educated people very hard to get them to go with a peroxide-based cleaner, because people were just of that mindset, cover up the mold with an encapsulant, put bleach on, and we're just making an issue worse. So.
Yeah. And it goes beyond just mold. You know, it's kind of like the Clorox wipes. You know, we're starting to see hydrogen peroxide wipes, which is fantastic. I think that's great, because if you've got a countertop or something like that you're concerned about salmonella, as you mentioned, chlorine is a horrible gas to breathe. Yes. It evaporates really quickly. So and it is good for bacteria from what I understand, but not mold. But peroxide is such a safer product to use, because when it off gases, it's not off gassing chlorine, it's off gassing water vapor and humidity, basically, and oxygen. I'd much rather be breathing in humidity and oxygen than chlorine gas when I'm trying to make my countertop better. You know?
Exactly. And this is a slide that it's a very simplistic product line, which I love. I mean, some manufacturers have like 300 products and it's overwhelming. We kept it simple but yet versatile, in the sense that there's a solution for every problem and every surface. And not to spend a tremendous amount of time on each product, but just a nice overview. The first one upper right corner, that's the cleaning solution we spoke to. That's a peroxide-based product. It's great in the sense it's ready to use. We prefer you to use an airless sprayer or fog it on. You can do that as well. And the product it's an all-purpose cleaner. And I'll tell you, I use it in my home. It's a great carpet cleaner. I know it's for mold, but it goes after bacteria as well. I use it in my bathrooms because of the bacteria, but primarily in a commercial setting, residential setting for application. Of course, you're going after the mold and bacteria, but it's just so benign. It's not going to burn your hands. The amount of peroxide is less than 10% of the entire 5-gallon pail. So therefore, environmentally correct, and it's an easy application as well. So that's the cornerstone of the Anabec product line. You do that first before you do anything else.
Now, when you're using it in your restroom, I assume you have like a trigger sprayer or something that you're using to apply it. Is that correct?
I put it in a spray bottle. Yeah.
Do you? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put it in. I'll do the
versatility of it.
Yeah. And then, I have a little puppy who has, she'll have her blankets and things. I put a little half a cup in my laundry with the detergent too. So, I mean, like I say, it's not what it was created for. We obviously sell it as a mold product, but the versatility of it is tremendous.
That's great.
Yeah.
I've told my wife about that.
Yeah, tell your wife. Anasphere Plus. What a tremendous product. This is the only EPA registered product we carry. And again, the classification now becomes a pesticide, which a lot of people don't like. We spoke of that earlier. But in the case of COVID-19, that's one of the 141 kill claims we do have. So last year was just indescribable, I guess is the right word, with the people that were desperate for this disinfectant for their homes. It's a concentrate. It's 2 ounces per gallon of water. And again, it's a registered product with the EPA. We're on the list N, which is very difficult to get on, which allows people to know that it is COVID approved. And that one is like a cleaner on steroids, if you will. It's about superbugs. So when people say, should I do the Anasphere Plus or the Advanced Cleaning Solution? It's a great product for nursing homes, hospitals, that type of scenario. But the cleaner is what you use for a general mold issue as far as remediation. But again, Anasphere Plus, it's truly Listeria, E. coli, H1N1, and mentioned COVID-19, the human coronavirus. That's what that product's all about.
Well, and from what I understand, it's not a product that goes away. It actually protects after you apply it. Is that also correct?
That is correct. And to give you an example, we use it in our offices here. Frequently touched surfaces is a big deal.
Right.
So doorknobs, light switches, you put it on, you leave it on. You don't wipe it off. You can with a hard surface, but again, we use it daily. And how long will it last is the question I've been asked by a million people, because you'll see ads out there on, not to mention the competition, they're well known. Oh, it'll last for 24 hours. And well, how do they know that unless they had a COVID virus, land on that surface? So we don't make that claim, Michael. We say clean as frequently as you can.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But if I spray the doorknob with the Anasphere Plus and someone comes in and has the human coronavirus and they touch that doorknob, how do I tell you that lasted after that fact?
Right.
It's just common sense. So we don't make claims we cannot back up with independent testing, which I don't believe anyone has that ability. But again, whatever they need to do, they do. But we don't make that claim. But again, frequent cleaning, it's just good common sense.
Well, and I think I read on there that it's good that especially you mentioned nursing homes, hospitals, schools, you could take that product and put it in the mop bucket as a disinfectant for the floors. And so, anywhere that you're using a normal cleaner, right, that this product could be added to that. You want to read the instructions, of course, make sure you don't contaminate things or whatever with other products. But it's a great versatile product. And it really is. A lot of people don't realize that when you walk into a hospital, that hospital smell is actually Lysol. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And Lysol's primary ingredient is phenol. Phenol is a neurotoxin that causes birth defects, if you want to do some research on it. So I would much rather use the Anasphere Plus in my situation to disinfect and clean than some of those other products.
Just a little side story. We have a local school that uses the Anasphere, and what they did is they decided to do that comparative with Lysol. And they did the lunch tables. And then we have something, it's called a luminometer. You may be aware of that, where you actually will do a swab, put it in, it'll give you a clean reading of a certain number range. And they did them side by side, and it was terrific. The results as far as Anasphere Plus. Wow. And hospitals, the wheelchairs, the light switches, the elevator buttons, there's just so many people don't realize when they're touching this, someone was there previous to that. So anyway, that's the Anasphere Plus background on that. And again, it's totally unique. But again, for basic mold cleaning, we always promote the cleaner because the Anasphere Plus is really about, like I mentioned, the superbugs in nursing homes and hospitals, schools, nurseries, wherever there could be a potential outbreak or has been.
That's great.
Anafresh is one of my favorite products, and I love all the products, but this one here is unique in the sense that it's not a Febreze. It's based on true science. It breaks down odor molecules. And the funny story about Anafresh is when you spray it, like the Hyatt in Europe, they still have a lot of smoking going on in hotels. They buy this and they spray it, and it smells like fresh air when they're done, unless that smoke is reintroduced, of course.
Right.
Well, nobody will do what I tell them. They overspray it because they love the smell of it so much. And it is a nice smell. It is. But the concept was to smell fresh air because it's actually breaking down the molecules. So, but it's a great product. This one is a concentrate as well. And you can actually put it anywhere on anything. And it's based on essential oil as far as the active ingredient. And I think if I remember way back in the day, Michael, you did this. It was informative, but it was so entertaining. And I can't remember what it was, but you left something like some type of meat, wasn't it, in the back of the car?
Yeah, it was my wife went to the grocery store and the chicken leaked. The chicken juice leaked in the carpet of our minivan.
Yeah.
And it was gross. And we didn't realize it. It was dark carpet, so you couldn't see a wet spot. So we didn't realize it until a couple of days later, and I went downstairs and the whole garage was smelling like rotten chicken.
Oh, you were hilarious because you were saying, I think you said that. Oh my God, it smells so gross.
Yeah. So, and we did a video I'll put a link to the video down below in the description if you all want to see it, but this stuff works. And the nice thing about Anafresh is that it can be added to the cleaner and other products. So that way, if you're addressing a mold odor as well as a smoky odor or a cat urine odor, like in a house that you're trying to sell or something like that, you can not only disinfect, but freshen at the same time. So it's a nice product.
Yeah. And I didn't know that, but I got mothballs are the hardest odor to break down. And I called and said, is this going to work? I said, I have no idea, but he said, let me try it. It worked. The lady called me up and said the dogs got sprayed by a skunk, and she, of course, got jumped on. Can I put it in the laundry? I said, I don't know. Because, it's for, the mold odors. It's for, smoke damage. But she called me and said they're like brand new. So it's also good for critter damage, raccoon, feces, things like that. Your critter wranglers and those kind of companies out there, this would be a great product for them to use. And you're right. The people, I had this lady that threw a bunch of mothballs in her attic because she had bats up there. They got rid of the bats, but the smell was still there. She actually thought the mothball smell got worse than the guano smell. And what wound up having to happen was, since she had loose insulation in the attic, they had to go in and vacuum all of that out along with the mothballs. So they got rid of the insulation and the mothballs in order to try to address it. So be careful what you're using to address those odors. You don't want to create a worse problem than the problem you have. Yeah, exactly. The next product, this is relatively new. And this was, I think, a couple of years ago. People were like, the cleaner, the independent microbial testing shows no fungi detected. It's beautiful, clean. Sometimes based on the species or the length of time that mold's sitting there, there's some staining left behind, but it's a cosmetic issue. But a home inspector comes in, they're trying to sell a house. They're like, you've got mold. Well, you don't, but it looks like you may. But people were begging me to do this. And I said, I hate it. I don't like sodium hypochlorite, but they begged me. And I said, all right, well, God, I'll be darned. We sell a lot of it. It's a system stain remover. And again, it's a sodium hypochlorite. So you have to wait after you put it on and let it dry thoroughly before you can go in and do your remediation. This is a cosmetic product only.
Right.
And it's not my favorite based on what we spoke of earlier, caustic, it's got an odor to it, but boy, it does a beautiful job. It looks like brand new wood after you put it on. But again, now you do that. Now it looks pretty. You got to go back in an attic, a crawl space, a basement, and use the advanced cleaning solution. And if you choose, obviously, the products we'll speak of next, the microbial moisture barriers. So, but again, it does a great job, but it's a matter of choice. If you want to either use the system stain remover or do a tint on the barriers that we will speak to next.
Okay.
So X70 and 90, identical products. The difference being is X70 comes in a clear or a tracing compound white or blue. The 90, and it's transparent. You can see through it. It's just to show you where you began and ended on a job. And this is your microbial moisture barrier. This is where the nanotechnology comes in, where the silver nitrate is dispersed and dispensed within the product. So it does settle on the bottom. When you purchase it, you have to stir that silver nitrate. So, it gets mixed properly. The 90 is a full cover white hide version. It's much thicker, but when you put it on, it looks like you painted it beautiful white walls. That was the other option. You either go with the SSR, the system stain remover, to get rid of the staining, or you do your cleaning and then you paint it a beautiful white. So that's another big mover with Anabec. People love it. But again, it's less coverage because it's much thicker. There's a tremendous amount of tint in there.
Yeah, we've used the 90. It is quite, you lose quite a bit of coverage just because of its application and how thick it is, but it's still
it's half the coverage, you know. Yeah. But again, it's a beautiful outcome if that's what you choose. It's just a matter of choice. Someone would never buy it. They'd only do the stain remover. Other people won't touch that. They want the 90. But they were both developed for the same reason, is just to get rid of the staining.
Well, 90 is what everybody that's spraying kills wish kills was. That's basically what the 90 is. It's a true preventative, but also paints all the joists or paints the roof decking white.
Exactly.
You know, where the 70, which is what we prefer using the 70 because we want to be able to see the wood. We don't like covering it up. We want the homeowner, even though there may be some staining involved and all that, we want them to be able to see the difference in the wood. So again, it's just a matter of preference. They're both very good products.
Okay. And then the last one, you know, we're really proud of this product in the sense that not only is it a high performing product, it's based on the same technology as 70, the component and formulation, just a little different. This is the product I spoke to earlier about being proactive and preventing a problem from ever happening. A lot of the construction companies are building with mold, you know, the lumber sitting out in the rain and they're hammering the nail into the wood. And there's mold growing all over the place. Then they button it up, and I thought, you know, a year later, the homeowner's suing them for a tremendous amount of money. So it's really cheap insurance when it comes down to it for the builder. In construction, there's something called CPVC, which is an important thing to mention because most people would be like, well, what does it matter if you're approved for that? Well, it's chlorinated polyvinyl chloride, which is, in another word, it's thermoplastic for the fire sprinkler systems in new construction. And what they were doing is they were coming in with any product you could think of and slapping it on. A fire broke out and the sprinkler system broke. They had stress cracking in the piping.
Oh, wow.
Wow was right. And there was a lot of tragic stories, and it was a nightmare. So Lubrizol and Spears are the two primary manufacturers, Lubrizol being the first to develop CPVC. And they said, no more. And a lot of manufacturers were sued, and it was a nightmare, like I said. But we decided, let us test our product with them and see. So we gave them NewBuild50 and both companies. And oh my God, it must have taken, not to mention the amount of money, but the time, it must have taken us a year. And I'm thinking it was 4 or 5 years ago, we passed with flying colors. So we're one of 2 with Spears and one of 3 maybe with Lubrizol. But they kicked some people off because they audit us every year and we have to send samples in. So we didn't change the formula. So this product, it's hard to keep in stock because people are so proud of the fact that it's been written into specs for new construction. And also they know they're doing the right thing. It's been tested for compatibility for CPVC, which is completely necessary given the fact that you need those fire sprinkler systems to not fail.
Well, and from what I understand, NewBuild50 is a mold preventative on rough timber. Is that right? So the studs that people are putting in, the framing and different things like that is what you would apply NewBuild50 to if you're building a home. Is that correct?
We love it. Ideally, it makes no sense for the building not to be dried in. Obviously, we want the roof on. So, and make sure they do moisture rating. 16 to 20% moisture content is what we always shoot for. And NewBuild does also come in blue and the white or the clear. You know, most people want the tint because, you know, they can see it for the inspectors to come in and say that you did treat all the surfaces. And again, nanotechnology based. It's not an encapsulant. It's got great breathability as a classified penetrant. And in some cases, as I mentioned, we do tell them, if you see a little bit of mold, you have to spot clean with the advanced cleaning solution.
Right.
And with the cleaner and the barriers, we do, and again, you do your own warranties, but we offer a 30-year for remediation. And then the new build, we call it NewBuild50. We used to call it NewBuild30 because the mortgage was usually 30 years, but it's performed so outstandingly that we created a 50-year warranty for it. So So it's the longest warranty and corporate transferable warranty in the industry.
These are the home builders that I assume you're getting, unless they're subbing the work out, but these home builders could also become Anabec certified to apply this and have the warranty applicable and all that sort of thing.
Which
right?
is, in fact, a huge order this morning, which we're in production with, but I'm sure they won't mind me mentioning Clark Builders. They're huge. They're all around the country. They buy their own, and their own clients, or I should say their own guys, do the application.
Right.
But then I have other customers in California, out in Texas, where they buy new build and they go out and apply it for the building owners. It's either or, but it's a great product.
If those watching, not all of these products we have in our DIY store. We of course have the ones that we're using regularly on our DIY store. But if you're interested in the NewBuild50 or perhaps the stain remover or even the X90, just send us a note and we'll see about making that available for you all. But we of course have the cleaner and the plus and the Anafresh and the X70 on the DIY store. And I believe we're moving towards getting the NewBuild50 on the DIY store as well. So hopefully that product will be available soon. So,
okay. And these are just some marketing opportunities. We spoke about new construction, obviously, but mold remediation is what we cut our teeth on and continue to do so. I mean, it's just a nonstop issue. But, crime scene cleanup, we have some clients here, even in Buffalo, that go in with the cleaner because it's so powerful. And then, of course, you mentioned the Anafresh, huge deal. They mix it with the cleaner, which is a one-step application. But crime scene cleanup is another big deal. Just institutional cleaning, hospitals, nursing homes. And you also mentioned earlier, Michael, about wildlife contamination. A lot of people buy the cleaner and the Anafresh for going after, you name it, all the critters that went in the attic and created a mess. That's another one. Fire, water restoration, of course, but the opportunities truly are endless. As a contractor, they're all over the place. Basement waterproofers, big deal too. Just to give you an idea, it's like I said, we could go on and on, but right. It's a versatile product, but a lot of opportunity as well for people.
That's great.
And again, this is just to mention the Lubrizol again, that we're approved. That's a big deal. It's called the FBC System Compatibility Program. And we don't have to spend a lot of time because we spoke basically about the cleaner being the cornerstone and it's peroxide based. And again, the multi-use of it is just fantastic. Things that you wouldn't think of, it's tremendous for. But again, it's going after the organic debris, both the mold and the bacteria, which a lot of people don't realize. And I brought this one on just to show you that we didn't just go with Lubrizol and Spears for CPVC piping. I mean, I want people to know you're going to run into, galvanized metal. You're going to have electrical with Southwire, Romex. So we went out and had each and individual manufacturer take our product and get written proof in writing and testing that we were approved for not just CPVC. So we have a lot of different Spears. We did a lot of ASTM testing on the product. And again, that's all available. Michael, if you ever need any kind of background paperwork or what have you for your clients, I'm happy to share that with you.
Okay. That's great. That's great. Well, this has been wonderful. And, I learned one thing that I want to delve into a little bit more, and that's the penetrant versus the encapsulant. And I want to do a little bit more research on that because I was not aware that the X70, the X90, and the NewBuild50 is a different classification of product. I did not know that.
Oh, I'm glad you now do because, people, we want an encapsulant. What do you have? And I said, I have something better. And then I explained it to him. But it's good that you know that because it truly is. It's important that wood is able to breathe, And X70, X90, NewBuild, it protects from the inside and out.
Appreciate you joining me here on our Crawl Space Ninja YouTube channel. This was wonderful information. And if you have any questions for Nancy or me, we hope you'll put some comments down below and we'll see about getting those questions answered for you. And I'm Michael Church with Nancy Ewing from Anabec, and I'm with Crawl Space Ninja. We hope you make it a happy and blessed day. We'll see you later.
See you later.